What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home? A very good evening and welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Duminda, Amaravira and Lasantha removed from SLFP positions. Will go to courts against decision to strip off positions. Duminda, Amaravira and Lasantha respond to SLFP's move. Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa joins SLFP special meeting, says will consider request to become common candidate. President cannot decide on next election, says MP Sumandiran.
The 20th edition of the Raigam Television Awards kicked off in Colombo. As Newsfirst won big at the Raigam Tellies, I'd like to extend our most sincere congratulations to our colleagues on the recognition they've received tonight. We share the joy of this achievement with you, the general public, who have helped elevate Newsfirst to such a prominent position in Sri Lanka. The Raigam Tellies 2023 awards ceremony took place in Colombo. Artists, journalists and veterans in the field of television were felicitated at the event. Newsfirst had a successful night at the Raigam Tellies 2023 awards. Newsfirst program Mavata with Gayan Sampath and Lairu Madhushanka Arachi won the Best Television Discussion Program of the Year award. Newsfirst also swept the Best Television News Presenter categories, with Umaya Kovilagodage winning for Best Television News Presenter Female of the Year. Anesta Vimal Raja winning Best Television News Presenter Tamil of the Year. And Ravi Gamage winning Best Television News Presenter English of the Year. Newsfirst continued its winning streak as Jayamal Ratnayaka secured the award for Best Television Presenter of the Year English. Further success came to Sirasa TV, with Julia Sonali winning the award for Best Television Presenter of the Year, Sinhala. Shanaka Ranatunga received a special jury award for his work on The Debater, which was telecast on Sirasa TV. Rounding out the nice achievements, Sirasa TV's The Voice Sri Lanka took home the award for the Best Creative Television Program of the Year.
Newsfirst with the people.
Wins the election.
The proposal to remove Mahinda Amaravira, Lasantha Alagiyavanna and Duminda Dissanayake from their positions in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party has been passed unanimously. The decision was taken at a special meeting convened at the SLFP headquarters.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party special meeting was held today with the participation of the SLFP Central Committee, Executive Council and Party Electorate and District Organisers. The meeting was chaired by SLFP Chairman, former President Maithripala Sirisena. Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa also participated in the meeting.
The proposal to remove Mahinda Amaravira, Lasantha Lagyewanna and Duminda Disanayake from their positions in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was passed unanimously at this special meeting. Accordingly, Mahyangan electorate organiser KP Gunawardena has been appointed as the national organiser of the SLFP that was previously held by Duminda Disanayake. Hector Betmage has been appointed to the position of SLFP treasurer previously held by Lasantha Lagyewanna. Sarat Ekanayake has been appointed to the position of senior vice chairman of the SLFP previously held by Mahinda Amaravira. Following the meeting, the SLFP chairman, former President Maithripala Sirisena, left the premises.
They were not removed from their party membership. Only their positions were removed. We proposed this at the meeting and it was unanimously passed. Everyone who moved to the government was chased away today. The SLFP is with the opposition. The leader clearly said that no one supporting the government will be accepted, and if they wish to be a part of the party, they must forsake their portfolios.
ඉවත් කරේ දෙපැත්ත කකුල දෙවියන් ඉන්නේ මිනිස්සු ඉවත් කරේ වෙන කවුරු ඉන්නේ එතුමානේ අතට ගත්තේ ඒක හරි එතුමා ඒක තමයි මම එතුමාගේ තියෙන උපේක්ෂා සහගතය එතුමාගේ තියෙන අහිංසකම එතුමාගේ තියෙන සංවේදීකම ප්‍රයෝජනෙට අරගෙන ආත්මාර්ථකාමී අවස්ථාවාදී UMP ගේ කුමන්ත්‍රණයක් මෙහෙව් ඒක තමයි මෙතෙක් කල් කළේ ඒ කුමන්ත්‍රණය දවසෙන් දවස එළි වෙලා අද අවසන් වුණා අද පිපුරලා ගියා කණ්ඩායමක් එළියට දැම්මයි කියන වචනේ පාවිච්චි කරන්න එපා.
Do not use the term chased away in this regard. Even within the legal system, today's decision will be seen as illegal and constitutional.
බණ්ඩාගාරික ධූරයයි ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ උපසභාපති ධූරයයි ඉවත් කරන්න ඒ කියන්නේ කනතුරු වලින් ඉවත් කරන්න කියලා තමයි පක්ෂ නායකතුමා දැනුම් දීම කළේ. එතකොට ඒක ඒකමතිව සම්මත වුණා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ සමාජිකත්වය අයින් කරන්න
අපි සමාජිකත්වය නෙමෙයි. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ කියන අනන්‍යතාවය රැකගෙන අපි කටයුතු කරන්න ඕන. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ විදියට ඉදිරියට යන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක තමයි අපි බලන්න ඕන. එතෙන්දී ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයට මොනවා හරි ආබාධයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක ඉවත් වීම සුදුසුයි කියන එක තමයි අද අදහස් වෙන්නේ. අවුරුදු 30ක් මේ පක්ෂයේ විදියට ඉඳියා. අපේ රටේ මෛත්‍රී සිරිසේන මැතිතුමා අද තමයි මේ පක්ෂය හදන්න නිවැරදිව තීන්දුව ගත්ත එකම නායකයා. තීන්දුව පක්ෂයේ අනිත් ඇමතිකම් අරගෙන අපේ පක්ෂයට වල කපපු අය අද තමයි දොට්ට දැම්ම එකම දවස. අද මොකක්ද දුන්නේ ඔබතුමාලට? ඔබතුමා පක්ෂයෙන් ඉවත් කරාද? පොඩ්ඩක් අදහසක් දීලා යන්න. අනතුරු ගැලවුණාද? පොඩ්ඩක් අදහසක් දෙන්න ඇමතුමා. ඔබතුමාට ආණ්ඩුවෙන් අයින් වෙනවද මේ තනතුර ගන්න? පොඩි අදහසක් දීලා යන්න. ආණ්ඩුවේ ඉන්න. බවෙන් පොඩ්ඩක් කියලා යන්න ඇමතුමා. ඇමතුමා අලුත් සමාජිකයෙක් ඉදිරියට තියෙනවා. නිදහස් පක්ෂයට මොකක්ද?
Wins the election.
Mahinda Amaravira, Lasantha Lagyewanna and Duminda Disanayake, who were stripped from their positions in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, held a media briefing today. They alleged that the decision made by the SLFP chairman was unconstitutional.
We don't even have allegations against us. They've pointed to a case against the alliance, the reason for which is well known. However, we will go to court and challenge this illegal removal. We will also implement a program to strengthen the SLFP. We have not crossed over to any other party and have no such intentions. We will not let anyone destroy our party. No, we were not aware, but we have no issue. He clearly elaborated on the appointment of Ranil Wickremesinghe to the office of the president and the invitation made to the leader of the opposition to take oaths and his rejection of the invitation. He pointed out that in a situation where everyone declined the role, President Wickremesinghe stepped up and took on the challenge. His presentation was good. good.
හොඳයි ඉදිරිපත් කිරීම හොඳයි.
මේ පිළිපස කවුරු ඉන්නවද මේ යම්කිසි උමන්ත්‍රණයක් තියෙනවද?
දන්නේ නැහැ ඉතින් මේ අපි දන්නේ නැහැ නේ කියන්නේ.
ඔබතුමාලගේ මන්ත්‍රීකම මේ සමාජිකත්වයක්
නෑ සමාජිකත්වයට නැහැ.
No, our membership was not terminated. We were only removed from our positions. That is not a part of the agenda. The SLFP has become a dictatorship in an unprecedented manner.
විදියට තමයි මම මේක දකින්නේ.
දැන් ඔබතුමාලා මේ මාධ්‍ය හමුව තියෙන්නේ නිදහස් පක්ෂක මොලස්සා.
ඔව් අපි මේ
We are holding this press conference at the SLFP headquarters. We will be a part of this party in the future as well.
පක්ෂින්
ඒ කියන්නේ යන්නේ කිව්වට යන්නේ
නේද අපි
How can they remove us? We are a part of this party. Show me anyone more patriotic to the party than us.
මට කියන්න
අපිට දැනගන්න ලැබුණා ඔබතුමාලා ඇමති තනතුරු වලින් ඉවත් වෙලා එනවනම් නැවත බාර ගන්නවා කියලා.
නෑ එහෙම
No, there is no such thing. If that was the case, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa will not be invited to deliver a keynote address as he is a minister representing the government.
නෑ මේ රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍යවරයෙක්.
එතුමා කිව්ව ඉදිරියේ මේ නිදහස් පක්ෂයත් එක්ක එකතු වෙනවා.
නෑ එතුමත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයට එනවනම් අපි කැමතියි.
අපිත් එක්ක පහුගිය ටිකේම සාකච්ඡා
එතුමා අපිත් එක්ක. අපි මේ
We will be happy if he joins the party. We could have brought in about 40 MPs to the SLFP. All of that was halted due to poor leadership decisions. We could have made this the strongest party. We held discussions with MPs here. We even spoke with party leaders, but unfortunately all of those were rejected by our leader and diverted the party's course.
කටයුතු කරා ඉච්චරයි.
විජේදාස රාජපක්ෂ මහතා පොදු අපේක්ෂකයා හැටියට ඉදිරිපත් වුණොත් ඔබතුමාලා සහාය වෙලා පා දෙනවද?
නෑ අපි එහෙම
We have not yet spoken about any candidate or made a decision on who to support.
අපි කතාවක් කළා නෑනේ.
ඔබතුමාලත් එක්ක මේ ඉන්න සියලුම පාක්ෂිකයෝ කියන හොඳ තීරණයක් ගත්තේ කියලා. එතකොට කොහොමද ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂේ සාධාරණයක් වුණා කියලා?
එහෙම කියන කට්ටියක් ඇති. කවුද එහෙම කියන කට්ටිය? එහෙම කියන කට්ටියක් ඇති.
There might be a fraction saying such things. Who are those people? People we have never seen in the SLFP were brought here today. Organizer positions are given very easily these days. Have you seen anyone present there as a part of the SLFP? Were there any patriotic members of the party? Can you name at least a few?
හිටියකින් හතර එකක් හිටියද කියන්නේ? නිකන් නම් දදා ගේන්න පුළුවන්.
අලුතෙන් කීප දෙනෙක් පත් කරා. මේ කට්ටිය මේ සුදුසුද මේ තනතුරු වලට?
That is not important. Those are temporary positions because we will come back to our posts.
මොකද අපි ආයේ මේ එනවා මේවා. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය
The SLFP and the people will soon realize that this party is not a one-man party. We apologize to our supporters for the breach of trust due to the conduct of our leader. These are issues that should be discussed within closed doors. But they have chosen to do these publicly. Therefore, we are telling our supporters not to lose hope as none of us intend on leaving the SLFP.
බලාපොරොත්තු දල්වාගෙන ඉන්න
මේක සම්පූර්ණ නීත්‍යානුකූල නොවන
We should not be surprised by the illegal conduct of Maithripala Sirisena. We held an initial discussion today before this meeting. We asked what was the expected plan. Then Maithripala Sirisena said that Vijayadasa Rajapaksa will be called to increase awareness on the Online Safety Act. Then I highlighted you all voted against the act while us along with Vijayadasa Rajapaksa voted in favour of it. We asked for an explanation for this contradiction. He was unable to answer that question. We only get contradictory information from him. He should take full responsibility for the downfall of the SLFP from 140 MPs to 2 MPs. But we do not intend to put the sole responsibility on him and move away. This is our party and not the personal inheritance of anyone.
ඒ වගකීම ඉටු කිරීමට අපි කටයුතු කරනවා කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේදී සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ.
Wins the election.
Journalists questioned Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa if he is the candidate of the SLFP. I was here to participate in the special meeting convened by the SLFP upon an invitation to address the current political situation of the country and the future course of action. You should ask that from the party members. I merely participated. I was with the party since the beginning. I've been with them since the time of Sri Mavo Bandanayaka. I don't have to join them now. We will decide that eventually.
ඔබතුමා නායකත්වය ගන්න සුදුසුද ලෑස්තිද ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස්
If the members decide so, I will accept it.
සමාජික කියනවා ඔබතුමාට කැමතියි කියලා. අපි කැමතියි අපි කැමති නම් අපි කැමතියි. අපි කැමතියි. පක්ෂේ බාර ගන්න. අපි කැමතියි.
Wins the election.
Was an invitation for the general candidacy of the presidential election actually extended? Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa expressed these views after he called on the Mahanayaka Thera, the Askeri chapter in Kandy yesterday.
ඔබතුමාට බැරි වෙලාවත් ආරාධනාවක් ආවොත් මේ රටේ පොදු අපේක්ෂකයා විදියට මේ රට බාර ගන්න ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉදිරිපත් වෙන කියලා ඔබතුමාගේ අදහස මොකක්ද මේ පිළිබඳව? අපේ රටේ සියලු
religious leaders in our country, be it the Mahasangha, the Hindus, Muslims and Catholics, have constantly made that request. I am holding discussions with those groups. I am ready to take up any challenge for the sake of the country. I have not made a decision on that. I will make a final decision on that once the discussions conclude.
නිවැරදි තීරණයක් ගන්නවා. ඉල්ලීමක් ලැබුණොත් ඔබතුමා එකඟත්වය පළ කරනවද? ඉල්ලීම් දැනටමත්
I have received enough of requests. I haven't made a decision yet. I need to think before I make the decision.
බලලා කල්පනා කරලා බලලා තීරණයක් ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ ඉදිරියේදී විජේදාස රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකයෙක් හැටියට දකින්න ලැබෙනු ඇති කියලා විශ්වාසය තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. ඔව් එහෙම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරගන්නකෝ.
Wins the election.
Namal Rajapaksa's first public rally since his appointment as the national organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held in Hambantota today. The district conference was held under the theme Satanarambu Hambantotin, loosely translated to Let's Begin the Battle from Hambantota.
Then Amrakumara Disanayakage
Even if Anrukumara Disanayaka's voter base increase, it will be only 2.3 million. Can he be the president? Yes, he can on Facebook. Anrukumara and Sajid Premadasa are well aware that they will not be able to defeat Rajapaksas democratically. They plan to slam us and stop us, and to hammer us and throw us into the barrier to stop us. I would like to tell Anru and Sajid that even if you throw us in the deep sea, our spirits will come back and show the strength of the SLPP.
There
is one thing that we should understand. We are the political force that stood with the people right throughout our political journey. No matter which obstacle came our way, we have faith in the people. In our history, there might have been some unpleasantries and breaches of trust along the way. We will discuss this and resolve it together. We must establish a new political force in line with the modern world. We must implement a program to become a trusted political party of the people of this country. Today, there are many people taking credit for the 6.9 million public mandate. It is divided on various sides, but there is a reason to be happy. That is that everyone is proudly reaping the credit for my father's public mandate regardless of their political affiliation. Therefore, I invite you to join us to begin the battle from Hambantota.
Wins the election.
Leader of the Maubima Janata Party, Dilip Jayavira, said that he is the suitable presidential candidate for the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna.
6.9 million people did not vote for Basil, not even Namal. They did not vote for the rest of the Rajapaksa family. Their entire family is not meant to be national leaders. The 6.9 million people voted for a great leader, that is Mahinda Rajapaksa, who ended the war to help bring peace to this country. But he should know how to guide his brothers and the rest of his family on the right path. We are not stupid, nor are we not slaves to follow them. We must remember that. They cannot try to betray the Pohotua, our Pohotua, the logo and the tagline that I designed. It is ours. The beauty of this country belongs to the patriotic Sri Lankan youth. The Pohotua belongs to the patriotic Sri Lankan youth who are waiting to return to Sri Lanka even today. I would say with great sadness that this does not apply to Basil Rajapaksa, who comes to Sri Lanka for leisure and treats these people like slaves. I have never liked him. The reason is that he is a fake person, someone with no love for this country. Our civilization is built by people who love our country, and we need to frequently remind him of that. We will not let him plot this ridiculous drama. He recently spoke at a TV interview and called for the election. How can an American decide on the elections held in Sri Lanka? It's time to question these people. Can Americans come here on vacation and decide whether we will hold presidential or general elections? Whose country is this? Minister Prasanna Rantunga said that the Pohottuwa has no candidate for the presidential election. Which Pohottuwa is he talking about? Is it Basil's Pohottuwa? The People's Pohottuwa has a candidate. That is me, Dilip Jayavira. Make me your candidate.
නිවාඩුවකට මේ ඇවිල්ලා අපි තියන්නේ ජනාධිපතිවරණයද මහමැතිවරණයද කියලා තීරණය කරන්න පුළුවන්ද ඇමරිකන් කාර්යයකට මේ රට කාගේ රටක්ද?
Wins the election.
The Jathaka Janabalavega Kegol District Conference was held today. Why must we keep suffering? Who are we doing it for? We talk about protecting children and elders, but we forget to consider ourselves. Why should we endure suffering, losing our peace and happiness under such cruel leadership? We must come together to face this. We cannot succeed if we stand alone. Our work starts here.
ගැහැණුන් හැටියට අපි විශ්වාස කරන දෙයක් තියෙනවා මේ රටට සුවපත් වීමක් අවශ්‍යයි.
As women, we believe our country needs to heal. We have suffered enough of hurting or losing loved ones. We need to revive and heal our country once again. We, the women, are capable of doing so. That is why our leadership is crucial for such a transformation.
ගැහැණු අපිට ඒ නිසා තමයි අපේ නායකත්වය මේ සමාජ පරිවර්තනයට අතිශයින්ම වැදගත් වෙන්නේ.
Wins the election.
The Samagi Vihidum Balaganaya of the Samagi Janabalavegya was held today in Matara under the auspices of opposition leader Sajid Premadasa.
අරගන්න පුරුදු අය හරිම තරහයි බෙදනයට. මම අරගන්නේ නැහැ. මතක තියාගන්න.
Those who are accustomed to only take in are furious with those who share. I, however, am not someone who takes. Remember, these so-called cardboard socialists cannot stop me. In the name of social justice, I am ready to share as much as possible until the citizens of this country are strengthened and the youth are empowered. My advice to the hypocrites who are used to only taking, learn from Sajid and learn to share. If needed, I am willing to provide tutoring to help them to learn how to empower the needy, the poor and the youth.
මේ රටේ නැති බැරි ජනතාවට දුප්පත් ජනතාවට තරුණ ප්‍රජාව සවිබල ගන්නට බෙදන ආකාරය.
Wins the election.
பாராளுமன்றம் மக்களான இழந்த பாராளுமன்றம் 2 வருடங்களுக்கு முன்னரே நடத்தப்பட்டிருக்க வேண்டும்.
The parliament has lost its mandate. The election should have been held 2 years ago. Since both elections are due, the government should not decide its order. It is a wrong democratic system to hold elections after looking at what benefits them politically and then decides what's better. That's why elections are held on fixed dates in many countries. The government cannot decide those dates. Therefore, neither a political party nor the president can decide the election dates.
I
have had a number of meetings with them. We are holding discussions with all parties. But during the time of the election, when we are aware of their candidates, we hold proper talks. The JJB will meet us in Jaffna next week. We are ready to hold talks with any party that wants to meet us.
The Colombo Wind Orchestra presents their annual concert, Music from Around the World, a captivating musical experience conducted by Keiko Kobayashi, featuring a delightful selection of music spanning various genres and composers. 2nd of April, 7 p.m. onwards at the Lino Event Theatre. Electronic media sponsors, Yes 101, Legends 966.
Usalavin and Surya Pokuna in rural Deyata Kandia in Sri Lanka. Did your child have to cross a makeshift wooden bridge to get to school last week? Did you have to walk for 2 hours after dark, risking elephant attacks just to get home. This is everyday life for the villagers of Pusalavina and Suryapokuna in rural Deyata Khandia in Sri Lanka. But things change today, and here is why.
The two villages in Deyata Khandia are separated by an agricultural canal, and the only way villagers could get across was on a precarious makeshift bridge made of logs. For years and years, the cries of residents fell on deaf ears. Parents would worry until their children came home. Children worried until their parents came home. This was life for the hundreds of families in these two villages, not for a few weeks or months, but for decades. Finally, in December last year, they reached out to Gammadda. And Gammadda partnered with the Tennyson and Vinita Rodrigo Trust and decided things needed to change for the better for these poor destitute families. Carried out under the Gammadda Accelerated Rural Development Movement, the bridge was completed within a few months and handed over to the people today. The handing over was done by Advisory Committee member of the Tennyson and Vinita Rodrigo Trust, Professor Himan Punchi Heva, and the leader of the Gammadda movement, Shevan Daniel. Several senior state sector officers and other members of the Gammadda movement also joined the event.
Let's take a moment today and salute the people who truly keep this country running. It is the people from the rural villages, the farmers, the people who produce. That's why I'm humbled and proud to be part of this trust and contribute to such a project. This bridge isn't just a structure, it's a bridge to developed and a brighter future.
The people spared nothing in expressing their happiness by showcasing their talents through music and dancing. Leader of the Gammadda movement, Shevan Daniel, had this to say.
We are very happy to be able to make life better for so many people all over Sri Lanka, thanks to the strength of the people themselves. When I was here a few months ago, what existed here was a precarious bridge made of a few rotten logs. Seeing this beautiful community bridge today fills my heart with joy. It's a privilege to serve the people in this way.
ජනතාවට සේවය කිරීමට ලැබුණු අවස්ථාව ගැන ඇත්තටම සතුටු වෙන අපි හැමෝම. නැත අන්සරණක් අපට අපම මිස සමගිය බලයම වේ.
Gammadda, for the people, by the people.
News First, with the people.
Meanwhile, Sri Lanka and India held discussions to review the progress of all bilateral projects. This was during talks between Senior Advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagal Ratnayaka and Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra. Senior Advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagal Ratnayaka led a high-level delegation in discussions to assess bilateral economic connectivity projects between Sri Lanka and India. Foreign Secretary Quatra acknowledged the positive momentum in Sri Lanka's economic growth. He emphasized that the current juncture presents an opportune moment for both countries to advance agreed-upon projects, attributing this progress to the strategic vision of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Sagar Ratnaik expressed gratitude for the extensive Indian assistance that played a crucial role in stabilizing the Sri Lankan economy. He also provided insights into the ongoing negotiations with the IMF and underscored the imperative of pursuing economic growth. He highlighted the importance of enhancing economic integration with India through improved connectivity, reflecting on the historical ties that bind the two nations as the closest neighbor. During the discussions, both sides conducted a comprehensive review of all bilateral projects, focusing on their timely implementation. It was mutually agreed to engage in this review process on a quarterly basis, demonstrating a commitment to ensuring effective progress in bilateral economic cooperation. The Sri Lanka Association of Animal Production says that local egg prices have dropped. According to its chairman, Ajit Gunasekara, a local egg which was previously sold at a price between Rs 55 and Rs 60 is currently sold at a price between Rs 35 and Rs 45. Sean Diddy Combs was seen on an outing with his twin daughters in Miami, days after law enforcement executed search warrants at his Miami and LA homes. We are crossing over to Thinal and Kenza for details of this story and much more on The World Today tonight.
3 days after authorities raided Sean Diddy Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami, the 54-year-old was seen having a family night out.
Now, Combs, also known as P. Diddy and Puff Daddy, was photographed at Topgolf in Miami with his 17-year-old twin daughters, who he shared with late Kim Portler.
And Thinal, and as a Grammy winner who is a father of 7, walked by the paparazzi, he flashed him the peace sign.
On March 25th, Homeland Security investigation agents executed a search warrant as Combs' LA and Miami properties, multiple law enforcement sources told foreign media, while noting the warrant was out of the Southern District of New York. During the searches, guns were found and the Department of Homeland Security seized phones from Combs in Miami before he was scheduled to take a trip to the Bahamas. Law enforcement sources familiar with the warrant service added to the outlet.
Now, 4 people have since been interviewed by prosecutors and investigators from the Southern District of New York about allegations of sex trafficking, sexual assault, the solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms supposedly tied to Combs.
Now, Kenza, in more news, one of Haiti's powerful gang leaders is offering a conditional concession.
Thinal, he says he would consider laying down weapons if armed groups were allowed to take part in talks to establish a new government.
Kenza, groups led by Jimmy Chaser, also known as Barbecue, are in control of most of the capital. He predicted the violence which has gripped Haiti in the recent weeks could escalate in the coming days. However, he has told Sky News, quote, "We are ready for solutions."
Thinal, Haiti, an impoverished Caribbean nation home to more than 11 million people, has been without a prime minister since the 12th of March. Ariel Henry resigned after being blocked by armed gangs from returning from Kenya, where he had signed a deal to import a military peacekeeping force in a bid to restore law and order.
Kenza, gangs have capitalized the power vacuum and expanded their control over the swaths of the country, which has effectively been rendered lawless in places.
Now, shifting into some international news that has been making headlines, the largest crane on the eastern US seaboard has arrived in Baltimore as part of a massive cleanup effort after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed.
Now, Kenza, shipments in and out of one of the country's busiest ports are suspended while the wreckage hangs over the cargo ship that crashed into it.
The search for the bodies of 4 workers remains on hold because of the dangers of diving amongst the wreckage.
Some $60 million in federal emergency funds will go towards recovery efforts, and the port is a main economic generator for the states of Maryland and a vital artery for imports and exports of the US and global trade.
The largest crane on the eastern US seaboard, which can lift 1,000 tons, is being erected at the site. Now, the crane called the Chesapeake 1000 was built in 1972 and is 191 feet long. It will be followed by a smaller crane.
Hence, foreign media reports that experts estimate it could take a month for the port of Baltimore to reopen and years to rebuild the bridge. The incident investigation may take 2 years.
Tinal, and people in Baltimore are still reeling from the disaster.
The second test between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh got underway in Chatragram today, and Sri Lanka made use of the batting conditions to end day one on 314 for 4.
After winning the toss, Sri Lanka decided to bat first, and openers Dimuth Karnaratne and Nishan Madhushankar got off to a fine start, with the duo adding 96 runs before Madhushankar's run-out ended his innings for 57. However, the top order continued to pile the runs as Kusal Mendis joined Karnaratne, adding 114 for the second wicket. Karnaratne was dismissed for 86, and Mendis, who played a magnificent innings, fell short of a century after being dismissed for 94. At stumps on day one, Sri Lanka were 314 for the loss of 4 wickets, with Dinesh Chandimal and Dhananjay De Silva at the crease on 34 and 15 respectively.
The Royal Turf Club hosted a successful RTC tourism race day to day at the picturesque Nuwara Racecourse.
The RTC Tourism Race Day aims to combine the excitement of horse racing with the scenic beauty of Nuwara. Spectators witnessed a series of races featuring thoroughbreds and skilled jockeys vying for victory. The prestigious horse racing event presented a day of exhilarating competition set against the stunning backdrop of Nuwara's lush landscapes. The event, hosted by the Royal Turf Club at the Nuwara Racecourse, attracted horse racing enthusiasts and leisure seekers alike, offering a unique combination of sport, scenery and cultural immersion. The event is part of an ambitious program to uphold the tradition of horse racing in Nuwara while promoting tourism in the area. The excitement of the racers was brought to life for audiences across Sri Lanka by official news partner Newsfirst, official television partner TV1 and the official radio partner Yes 101.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.